Does anybody have a dog? Or a couple dogs who really love you and can't stand to be left behind? We are going to replace this piece of the door trim. I got a 7-foot piece from Home Depot. I have a razor. I have 2 options for putting up the new piece. You can either use a finishing nail with a nail setter, or I prefer a nail gun. Finishing nails. You're also going to need something to pry off the old trim carefully. So the first thing you're going to do is take your razor blade and you're going to score the inside of the trim where it hits the frame right here. You're going to go all the way down the inside, okay? And you're going to do it on the outside. You're going to press firmly to break that seal. You're also going to do it where it meets the trim. And you're also going to do it up here in the corner piece, okay? And I've already done that. The next thing you're going to do is you're going to tap the pry bar in there. Should be pretty easy. And then you're going to gently lift it a little bit here in the middle and each end, okay? And you're going to work it off. I got my pry bar stuck up in there with the hammer. You can see where it's breaking apart nice and clean, where I scored it. And I'm going to keep working it on each side. It's now lifted evenly. One piece, you should see all the way through it. Before you start lifting it all the way off, make sure it's completely disconnected from the wall. So there's a little bit right here. If you don't break that and you keep pulling it, you're going to make a lot more work for yourself fixing the sheetrock. There you go. Look there. See that? I didn't score it strong enough. So I'm going to hit that again before I completely remove it. And I'll show you how to fix that. Okay, so I pulled off the old piece of trim. Came off relatively well except for that one spot. And you got your little spatula. I love this stuff because it's pink and it'll dry white, so there's no premature sanding. So you take a little bit, and then you're going to lift this and you're going to basically glue it back down using that. But you're not going to use a lot. Okay, so I put it behind there, pushed it down, and then I tried to blend it a little bit, put some over here where it actually broke through. I'm going to let it dry, do a little sanding. I'm not too worried about it because the new trim, you know, is going to go right over it. And we're going to, you know, paint it and caulk it and all that. So just hang out. Don't get all upset. Let it dry. Pull out any nails that are left. Okay. The spackle is dry. And I just hit it with a 100 grain sandpaper. And you can tell it's just fine. Not an issue. Now we're going to take our trim. Make sure you have the trim turned in the right direction, where the wide part is on the exterior, the thin part is sitting against the the window frame or the door frame. And you're gonna mark, you're gonna put it all the way to the bottom, and you're gonna mark where it meets. And you're gonna mark up there where it meets. Okay, I'm gonna get a little bit of a better angle for you. So I got a chair and put it on the ground. Well, not the chair. The chair is always on the ground. So what you do is you line it up as close as you can, right? See where I marked where it lines up? And then I marked where it lines up back here. Because what you're doing is you're matching someone else's miter cut. So it's going to be a little tricky. And it's okay if you're off a little, because you can raise it from the floor and butt it up against here. So now you're going to take a ruler and you're going to make a pencil mark. It's not going to be your exact cut because you're going to use a saw. You can either use a miter box or a table saw. I'm going to use a miter box. I cut it, and as you can see, matches up pretty close. So now I'm going to, I have to shim it out a little bit, just a little bit. So I'm going to put on a nail in the middle, in the bottom, and then I'm going to set a shimmy up in there, and I'm going to nail through the shim into the wall. Okay, I have 4 nails in the trim. You can do more, but I think that's fine for me. It lines up absolutely perfectly. Now you're going to use caulk, and you're going to cover the joint right here. You're going to go down the interior. You're going to go down the exterior, all the way down to the baseboard. Now, the caulk you're going to use is going to be interior white paintable. I like this. This is perfect. And it'll even tell you, look, baseboards, windows, doors, molding. So they're pretty straightforward, easy to pick out the right one. A nice little doohickey is one of these tools. I don't know exactly what it's called if you're looking for it in the store. I like to call it a caulk edger. This is my favorite part about it right here. It'll give you 3 different widths. So when you're caulking right here, you can just run that down and it'll give you a nice edge. I like to leave it damp. I find it runs down the caulk a little bit better. So I have a paper towel that I got wet a little bit. So I'm gonna do that, you know, after I caulk and just run it down. And I'm not gonna use gloves because it's water soluble. And I'm kind of a risk taker. Pretty dangerous, I know. Now if it was Lexol or something, probably a different story. I have a nugget. It's a golden nugget of information. All right, so it's actually brass. Strike plates, okay? When they're installed, do you know the length of the screw that they use is like 1/2 inch? It's just to attach the strike plate to the wood. Take those out, okay? Of course you're gonna need to, excuse me, to do the caulking, but I've done this already, and it's a security issue. What you do is you replace them with long screws, okay? These are 2 inch. These are the ones I use right here. This is actually a 3 inch. So I replace that and it goes into the frame. Why do I do that? Because when a guy, I'm sorry, I should say a person, no, we're just gonna say a guy, tries to break into the house, he's gonna try to jam open this connection. This is how they get in and not through the window. A little 1/2 inch screw isn't going to hold that in. A 3-inch screw into the frame will. So that's a serious added benefit and security. Easy, something you can do to further secure your house. You're welcome. Okay, I like to plug my caulk with a wire nut because it gets thinner, you know, it's tapered, and it's the size of the hole. And by the way, this is why you watch the whole video before you start. If you've never done this before, you need to know to cut the opening on an angle. So when it comes out, you can use the tip of the angle of the caulk. Okay, that's how you would apply it. So anyway, I like to use a wire nut because it's tapered and it fits perfectly in there. And the caulk around it will seal it, okay? There's no need to go crazy and use metal screws and have them, you know, get rusted, and it's just not necessary. Now the caulk says paint in 20 minutes. I'm not in a hurry. I'm gonna go do something else. I've cleaned up a little bit, but that's why I like this stuff. Doesn't mean it's cured, but it definitely means you can get it painted and move on. The thing is with trim, it's white, and I don't know if you know this, but white is the hardest color to match. So if you have a little can that you have left over from the builder, take it over to wherever you like to get your paint and have them match it. They're gonna look at you like you're insane because they're gonna say it's just trim paint, just buy some white trim paint. No, you don't do that. You go and get it mixed. Now, I've had this is a new can. My other one got rusted. But I have it marked special trim, custom match. And I've been working off of that. I've been in this house now for over 10 years. When I patch a piece of trim, I'm not worried about it because I know that whatever I paint it, it's going to match what was already there. If you don't have that little can, okay, well, take the piece of trim that you removed, take it over there, and they can match it from that piece of wood. They just need like that much. Okay, so we painted and it's all done. And I think it looks really great. It really matched up well there. And it looks a ton better without all the dog marks. Unfortunately, I still have the dogs, so we'll see how long that lasts. Thanks, ladies and gentlemen. Great working with you. Good job.